or two thinking about the word yoga and what yoga means to you. So I've been looking at, reading just parts of this book, which is the Yoga Sutras. And part of the Yoga Sutras are the 8 limbs of yoga. And the 8 limbs of yoga are kind of the foundation upon which yoga is built. And we've touched upon some of them. We've talked about the yamas and the niyamas. The yamas are kind of ways to deprogram ourselves, right? Like, don't think about, there's in the yamas, it's things like, ahimsa, which is practicing nonviolence. It's things like asteya, which is non-coveting. So it's all these ways to deprogram habitual thought patterns that have developed in our minds. And then we move, the second limb of yoga is all about the yamas. And the niyamas, are the reprogramming. And when you reprogram, it's kind of just ways to, live your life more in alignment with the practice of yoga. So saucha is orderliness and cleanliness of the body and mind. Santosha is a sense of being content. Tapas is that discipline. We talked about that a few weeks ago. Svadhyaya is that self-study. So these are all ways to reprogram our minds. And those are 2. They're very involved. The first 2 limbs of yoga, the yamas and the niyamas, are very involved. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of work involved. The third limb of yoga is asana. And asana, as we know it, is movement. And this is what it says about asana. Asana is practiced to develop a stable and relaxed body. That's it. There are pages and pages and pages and work and study about all of the different limbs of yoga. But when it comes to the movement, the asana, one simple sentence. That's how much yoga is not really about the movement. It's about our relationship to our breath and movement. It's relationship to our body and our mind. But in the Western world, we've kind of latched on to the movement aspect of it and made that yoga. Whereas yoga really means yoke, or bringing together. So we're bringing together our minds and our body. We're bringing together movement and breath. So I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we practice today. And we're going to start in a seated position. And just to remind you, asana, right, is to bring about a stable and relaxed body. So we'll work today on some stability. And then if we're lucky, we'll end with a little relaxation. So where do you get stability? A lot of times stability comes through strength. You have to strengthen certain parts of your body to stabilize them, right? If you have a wobbly table, maybe you have to strengthen or tighten the connection between the leg and the top of the table so it's more stable. Strength and stability work hand in hand. So we'll work today with some strength in our movement, and then we'll work toward relaxing our bodies. But we're going to begin in an upright seated position. So notice if you're comfortable with your legs crossed. Sometimes we tuck our feet under. Sometimes you can move your feet, just so that they rest next to each other. That might let your knees come a little bit closer to the floor. If neither of those are comfortable, let your legs stretch out in front of you. And move yourself around a little bit so you get comfortable. Place your hands on your knees. Take a nice breath in. Lift your shoulders up toward your ears. Hold them there for a moment. And then as you exhale, allow your shoulder blades to rest on your back. And begin to pay a little bit of attention to noticing what's happening in your body right now. Is there a part of your body that's asking for a little extra attention? Can you notice what parts of your body are in contact with the floor? Can you notice your breath moving certain parts of your body? And then become aware of your tailbone. And right above your tailbone is your sacrum, that flat triangular bone that acts as the fulcrum for your hips. Right above your sacrum is your lumbar spine, your low back. Notice that natural curve in your low back. And then begin to travel up your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Maybe lifting your spine a little bit as you do. Creating a little bit of space in between each one of those vertebrae. Noticing your thoracic spine, your middle back. And then traveling your attention to your cervical spine, your neck. And maybe you have to tuck your chin back a little bit so that you can notice that natural curve in your neck. If your head is sticking out too much, you lose that natural curve. Your spine has 3 natural curves to it. You want to try to retain those to the best of your ability to keep the health and well-being of your spine intact. And just get a felt sense of what it's like to sit upright and in alignment. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Let your chin begin to drop down toward your chest. And as your chin drops toward your chest, pay attention again to the back of your neck. If you draw that chin a little bit closer to the notch at the base of your throat, do you feel yourself stretching your neck a little bit more? And then slowly begin to open your eyes. Follow your hands with your gaze. Raise your arms up over your head. Reach up as high as you can. And then take another little breath in. Reach up even higher. And as you exhale, let that right hand come down. Your left arm's going to come up and over. Stretch your arm as much as you can, keeping your elbows straight, your arms active. Using your core, lift yourself back up. And then your left hand comes down, your right arm comes up and over. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, interlace your fingers, bring them up over your head, stretching again as high as you can. And then tuck your chin, pull your belly button in, round your spine, press your hands away. Inhale, lift up, look up. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, pull your belly button in, round your spine. And then lift yourself back up. Let your arms come back down onto your knees. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Take your right hand, bring it behind you. Left hand comes onto your thigh. Seated twist. Turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. Look over your right shoulder. Big breath in, come back to center. Raise those arms up over your head. And as you exhale, left hand behind you, right hand on your thigh, turn your belly, your ribs, your chest, and then look over that left shoulder. Inhale back to center, arms up, spread your fingers nice and wide. And as you exhale, fold forward, trying to bring your belly and your chest over your shin if you can. Relax your shoulders, stay here for a couple of breaths. And in this seated forward bend, travel through your spine again. So your spine is your lifeline. It's the only part of your body that connects your body and your mind. Leaving your arms stretched out nice and far in front of you. Take another big sip of air. And as you exhale, lift yourself up onto your hands and knees. Flatten your feet. Take your right foot, stretch it out behind you. You want your toes on the mat. Press your heel back. You're creating a lot of length in that calf, a lot of space in that calf. And then paying attention to your glute. Begin to lift that right leg up. Hold your right leg up. And then lift it just a smidge higher. Tap your toe to the floor and lift it back up. Tap and lift, tap and lift, hold it. Extend your left arm, look to your left hand. Stay here for a moment. And then begin to bend your right knee, reach behind with your left hand, hold on to your foot if you can, and lift that knee up nice and high. With control, release your hand, release your knee. Right away, that left foot comes out behind you. Toes to the mat, press your heel back. Begin to slowly lift that left leg up, hold it there. So your glutes engaged, and then you tap your toe and lift, tap and lift, tap and lift, hold it. Extend your right arm, look to your right thumb, keeping yourself steady, stability, and then bend that left knee, reach behind you, hold on to your foot and lift it up a little bit higher. With control, release your hand, release your knee. Curl your toes, slowly lift your butt. Your knees are still bent. Keep lifting, 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 and then straighten your knees, drop your heels, relax your head. You're in down dog. Come up nice and high in your tippy toes. Bend that right knee, let your left heel stretch down. And then again, tippy toes, bend your left knee, let your right heel stretch down. Come back to your tippy toes, let both heels stretch down. And then you're going to take your right foot, bring it toward your right wrist, and step it back. Left foot steps to your left wrist and bring it back. And then again, right foot, right wrist, and back. Left foot, left wrist, and back. A couple more times, a little faster. Right and back, left and back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Hips are high, heels are heavy, push that floor away, and then come down onto your knees. Sink your hips to your heels, relax your arms, take a couple of resting breaths. So sometimes it's nice to get your heart rate going a little bit and then take a few moments to let it recover, right? That's what interval work is all about. Bring your arms out in front of you again. Lift yourself onto all fours. Curl your toes. Once again, hips are high. Right leg comes up into the air. This time, big breath in. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, send it out. As you exhale, release that right foot down. Lift your left leg up, big sip of air. Exhale, knee comes to that nose. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it out. As you exhale, release your foot to the mat. Start to walk your feet to your hands, hands to your feet. Stay in that nice low forward bend. Knees are bent deeply. Belly's resting on your thighs, head's heavy. And then slowly start to straighten your legs. Bring your hands to your shins. Roll your shoulders back. Tailbone back, chest forward. You're looking at your mat so that you're keeping length in your spine. You're creating a straight line from the base of your skull to your tailbone. Axial extension. And then fold forward, fingertips to the mat. Step your right leg back into a lunge. And then bring your left leg back to meet it. You're in plank pose. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Release yourself to the floor. Hands are right next to your chest. Nice sip of breath. As you exhale, lift yourself up a couple of inches. You're in Bhujangasana Cobra. Take another nice breath in. As you exhale, lift yourself up a little higher and hold it. Take another nice breath in. Curl your toes. Exhale, lift yourself back to down dog. Stay here for a moment. You're pushing that floor away from you, creating some length in your arms. And then your right leg comes up nice and high. Look to your hands. Step your right foot forward. Travel your hands to your thigh to steady yourself. And then once you're upright, you can bring your hands to your heart center. And you're going to bend that left knee and lift. Bend and lift. Bend and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Stay here. You're in your lunge. Left elbow comes to the outside of that right thigh. Turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. Look toward your right shoulder. Come back to center. Press into your right foot. Step your feet together. And then sweep your arms up over your head right away. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Slide your hands to your shins. Look forward. Your back is straight. Release yourself down. Forward bend with your legs straighter. And then you're going to step your left leg back. Your right leg meets it. You're in your plank pose. You stay here for 2 breaths. And then you come to chaturanga. You try to stay here for 2 breaths. And then release yourself to the floor. Hands right next to your chest. Nice breath in. Exhale, lift yourself up a little bit and stay here. Keep your chin tucked. Another nice breath in. As you exhale, lift up a little higher and hold it. Curl your toes. Big breath in. Exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up into the air. Look forward. Step your left foot between your hands. Travel your hands to your thigh to steady yourself. Once you feel steady, your hands can come to your heart center. So tuck that tailbone in. You get a nice stretch in your right hip flexor. And then tap your knee and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, hold it. Right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. Look over your left shoulder. Look forward. Press into your left foot. Step your feet together. Sweep your arms over your head. Another big breath in. Reach your fingers toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, fold forward. This time you can hold on to your big toes, maybe, and start to pull up on your big toes while you stretch your tailbone behind you. Release your toes, bend your knees, lift your chest, hands to your heart center. We're in a nice low Uttanasana chair pose. Shifting your weight into your right leg. Lift up your left knee. We're going to try to hold it here for 4 breaths. And release. Shift your weight, lift up that right knee, 4 breaths. Release your foot down, sink down a little bit lower. Open your arms out to the side. From your shoulders, big circles forward. Pause. Big circles backward. So a lot of movement. Feel like you're lubricating those shoulder joints. Come to a still point. Nice breath in. Exhale, arms behind you. Try to stay here for 3 breaths. And then sweep your arms in front of you, press into your heels, stand up nice and tall, drop your right arm down your side, left arm comes up over your ear, keep creeping your fingers down that right leg, big side bend. Inhale, lift back up. And as you exhale, that left hand slides down your leg, right arm's over your ear. Breathe into that right side of your body. And then lift yourself back up. Open your arms nice and wide. Fold forward. Bend your knees. Walk yourself or jump yourself back to your plank pose. Hold it here for 2 breaths. And then from your plank pose, take your right foot, step it to your right wrist and back. Left foot, left wrist and back. Right and back. Left and back. Again, right and back. Left and back. Hold yourself in plank. And then come down onto your knees. Sink your hips to your heels. Once again, arms come behind you. Relax your shoulders. Let them melt into the floor. Take a couple of big breaths here. Slide your arms back out in front of you. Lift yourself back to all fours. Take that right foot, step it out behind you again. Slowly lift it up, hold it there. Extend your right arm, start to roll your right shoulder back. Your whole body moves like one big piece, right? So your shoulder moves, your ribs move, your hip moves, everything's facing in the same direction. Your shoulder, your ribs, your hip, and even all the way down to your heel are all lined up. And see if you can look up to that right hand for a moment, challenging your stability. And then look forward. Slowly begin to move that right leg forward. And then slowly move it back. So this is loosening up your hip joint. Slowly move it forward. And then tap your toe. Lift your leg up. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Hold it. Bring that leg back. Bend your right knee. Try to find your right foot. And then draw your heel toward your butt, stretching your hip flexor and quad. And then with control, release your hand. Step that right foot forward. And you're going to bring your right hand inside your foot, okay? We're coming into lizard pose. So your hand's not on the outside, your hand's on the inside. You're going to begin to lower one elbow, lower the other. If your elbows don't reach the floor, you can stay on your hands. If you happen to have a block or something nearby, a pillow, whatever, you can rest your arms there. Or again, just stay on your fingertips. Big hip stretch, right? So we did all of those hip opening work when we were stepping our foot to our wrist, right? That was loosening up these hips, getting us ready for this. And then come back up, slide that right leg back. And then you're going to step your left leg out behind you. You're going to slowly lift that leg up. Tap it down for a moment. Lift it back up. Extend your left arm. Roll your left shoulder back. Your ribs roll. Your hip rolls. Everything's facing forward. Your toes face forward. To challenge your balance, you look up to that left hand. And then look straight ahead again. Slowly move that left leg forward. Slowly move it back. Slowly move it forward. Leave it there. Tap your foot and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Slowly bring that leg back. Bend your knee, reach behind you, find your left foot. Hold on to it. And then release your hand. Step your foot forward. So it goes foot, hand, hand. And then you begin to lower one elbow, lower the other. Lift yourself back up. Slide your foot back. Flop yourself down. Swing your legs in front of you. So that was a lot of leg and glute work, right? So all that stepping that foot forward, that was loosening that hip up, trying to get you ready for your lizard pose. All of our time that we spent in our nice low chair pose on one leg, that was a lot of glute work. Moving your leg forward like this, tapping it down and lifting it. That's all glute work. Your glutes are your first line of defense in terms of stability. Inside your glutes, your gluteus medius and your gluteus minimus, those are your stabilizing muscles. So we work on those to keep us balanced. Hold on behind your thighs. Lift your chest up nice and tall. Big breath in. As you exhale, lean back a little bit. So you're not sinking down. You're just kind of leaning back, keeping that belly engaged if you can. Lift up your right leg. Release. Left leg. Release. Right arm. Release. Left arm. Release. Right leg, left arm. Release. Left leg, right arm. Release. Both legs, both arms, 3 breaths. We're going to try to transition. Bring your knees in, hold on to your feet, lift your chest. Right, we did a lot of hip opening. This should feel okay for your hips, hopefully. If not, don't do it. And then stretch one leg, stretch the other. Look at something that's not going to move. And then your feet come back together, your knees come back together, your arms come out. And as if you're rowing a boat, bring your elbows back and forward. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Release your feet. Arms stay straight out. Big breath in. As you exhale, feel that low back come onto the mat and stay there. Then take another breath in. As you exhale, feel your middle back come onto the mat and stay there. And then your next exhale releases your upper back, and you're going to hug one knee in, then the other. Gently rock yourself from side to side. hold onto your kneecaps and see if you can take your left hand with your left knee and make a big circle, an outward circle with just that knee and that hip, and then come to a still point. And then do the same with your right. So you're making a big clockwise circle with that right knee and hip, and come back. And now you're going to try to do it with both your knees. They come out and back in, out and in, out and in, out and in. And then those thighs come together. Your arms come out to the side. Both of those knees fall down to the left. And you stay here for a moment. And then stretch that right leg out, just like we did before in our supported half moon. We're now doing it in a spinal twist. Lift that leg up, hold it up. And then bend your knee and send it back out. Bend your knee, send your foot back out. Bend your knee, send your foot back out. Lower your foot, tap it to the mat. Lift it back up, tap and lift, tap and lift, hold it. Bend your knee, place your knees on top of each other, and then bring those knees back to center and let them both fall down to the right. And you stretch your left leg out in front of you, toes to your face. Lift your leg up and then tap your knees back together. Lift your leg up and then bend your knee and straighten your leg. Bend your knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Tap your foot to the floor and lift. Tap and lift, tap and lift, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then bend your knee, bring your thighs and knees together, and inhale back to center. As you exhale, wrap your arms around your knees, hug them into your chest. Place your feet on the floor. When your feet come to the floor, take the opportunity to feel the entirety of your foot touching the mat. So notice if you feel just your heels or just your big toes. You want to feel the outer edges of your feet. You want to feel everything. Pressing into your feet with your hands next to you, palms turned upward. Begin to lift your hips, lift your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back. We're going to stay here in our bridge pose for a few breaths. And then thinking about strength and stability again, lift your right knee and step it down. Lift your left and step like you're marching, but we're doing it slowly. Slowly lift that right knee, slowly lower it down. Slowly lift your left knee, slowly lower it down. Inhale right, exhale release. Inhale left, exhale release. Lift your hips a little higher. Now turn your palms down so your hands can help you a little. Lift your right leg straight up into the air, hold it up there. Bend your right knee, foot to the floor. Lift your hips a little higher. Shift your leg into, weight into that right leg. Lift your left leg, hold it. Bend your knee, foot to the floor. Lower your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, and your hips. Stay here for a moment. Try to feel that lumbar spine, that low back in contact with the floor. Place your hands on your belly. Take a big breath in. Start to pull your belly button back toward your spine, and as you exhale, say, shh. And then again, nice, big, full, deep breath in. Fill that belly up. Pull that belly button in, and as you exhale, shh. And one more time. Big inhale. Pull that belly button in and shh. Take your right foot, put it on top of your left thigh. And just stay here for a moment. Let that right knee relax. Try to feel what's going on at the top of that right hip and that hip joint. Does everything feel okay? And then slowly bring your left knee in toward your chest. Wrap your hands around that left knee. Really hug it in. So all of that glute work is contracting your glute. We're going to stretch it out a little bit here. With every exhale, try to bring your knee in a tiny little bit more. Release your left foot, release your right foot. Let both of your knees fall down to the left. Let your head turn to the right. And then take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, bring your knees back to center. And then both of your knees fall down to the right. Your head turns to the left. Take a couple of big breaths into that left side of your body. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, reconnect that low back with the mat. And then you're going to take your left foot, you're going to rest it on top of your right thigh, and you're going to start to bring your right knee in toward your chest. Wrap your hands either behind that right knee or underneath that right knee. And really concentrate on bringing that knee and thigh as close into your chest as you can, stretching that left glute. Release your right foot, release your left foot, and then just windshield wipe your legs back and forth. Come to a still point. Walk your feet to the edges of your mat and let both of your knees fall to the left. And then pick up your left foot, put it on top of your right thigh. So you're stretching the top of that thigh. Maybe you feel it a little bit down the side of that right leg. Inhale back to center. If your feet happen to walk close together, make sure that you separate them again. They're nice and wide. And then both of those knees fall all the way down to the right. And you're going to pick up that right foot and put it on top of your left knee or thigh. So you're letting the weight of that right leg and foot really deepen the stretch in your left leg. And then inhale your knees back to center. And as you exhale, stretch one leg straight out, stretch the other leg straight out. Turn your palms upward. Take a nice big breath in and start to curl your fingers into a fist. Hold your fist and hold your breath. And then as you exhale, release the fist, release your breath. And again, big inhale, curl your fingers into a fist, hold the fist, hold your breath. And as you exhale, release your fingers, release your breath. Do that one more time. Big breath in, curl your fingers in, hold your breath. This time we're going to keep holding it. And then exhale completely, let everything go. And try to recognize that when you release your breath or you exhale, you're releasing tension from your body. You're bringing yourself to a place of relaxation. So pay close attention to your exhale. As you exhale, try to soften all of the muscles in your face, creating a little bit more space in between each one of your eyebrows, softening your jaw, maybe releasing your tongue from the roof of your mouth. On your next conscious exhale, relax your shoulders. On your next exhalation, feel your hips sinking heavily into the mat. Notice the rise of the front of your body as you breathe in, and the release of the back of your body as you exhale. And silently repeat to yourself. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Take another nice, big, full, deep breath in. And as you exhale, roll yourself onto whichever side of your body feels safer and more comfortable. And then guide yourself back into a seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart center. And take a moment to express gratitude for your practice this afternoon. Express gratitude for your asana. Your asana is your movement. And asana is practiced to develop a stable and relaxed body. So see if you can take a little bit of this stability, a little bit of this relaxation that we're working on this afternoon, and carry it with you off of your mat and back into your world. Take one more nice, big, full breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste.